Hello traders and welcome back to the market opening preview September 30th, 2014 on a Tuesday early in our trading week. Traders, please remember this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Rainy skies today, not white sandy beaches. All you need today is an umbrella. Yeah, I got lots of rain today. Doesn't look like we'll be going outside at all today. It's going to be a nice day in the office trading the Forex markets. Traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday. I've been a Forex trader since 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful career in the fire rescue department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later I came on a 3-month holiday to Thailand, and traders, I am still here. And it's 2014. So it's pretty good stuff. Yes, I do live in Thailand now and having a great time. And if you want to trade all three markets, this is the place to be. Due to the time zone, I can trade Asia, London, and about the first 2.5 to 3 hours of New York. That'll bring up to about 10:30 at night p.m. And I can still get a good 8-hour sleep, 7-hour sleep, and ready for the next day. Traders, I trade every day in the Forex markets. I don't necessarily take a trade, but I'm in the markets, I'm watching, I'm listening, and I'm always looking for those opportunities to get into a trade. Okay, this is a legal disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risk before you're willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most of all, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, you always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, traders, time for news and commentary. Let's take a look at what happened overnight in the old markets here. Looks like I'm seeing a lot of red out of the U.S. The Dow 30 closed down negative 0.25%. The S&P 500 also down negative 0.25%. And the NASDAQ down negative 0.16%. Not too bad, really, but they are in the red. The DAX is down 0.71%. The FTSE 100 just in the red at 0.04%. And the CAC 40 is down negative 0.83%, with the Eurostock 50 down at negative 0.98%. Traders, let's move on over into the Asian markets where these countries are currently trading. The Nikkei 225 is negative 1.50% at the moment. The S&P ASX 200 out of Sydney, Australia is in the green just barely at 0.09%. The Shanghai is barely in the green at 0.07%. The Hang Seng is negative 1.41%. Oh my goodness. And the Kospi is negative 0.81%. Let's move over and take a look at the calendar. Let's see what we need to look out for today. Any big events, any big stories. All right, so actually it's got a lot of Euro news coming out, but medium impact, a lot of medium impact. The big one's going to be the German unemployment change. That's 55 minutes after the London Open. So that'll be an early news release. That looks like the big one in London. And then you have GDP coming out of London like 30 minutes after that. So the first hour and a half is going to be quite busy. Later towards London lunch, we're looking at CPI year on year coming out of the Eurozone. So that is going to be another high impact. Looks like we got filled with data today in the London session. I have to keep an eye out. Moving down into the U.S. session, Canada has GDP month on month, which is 1 hour before the New York Open. Typical that data comes out an hour before. That is not unusual. And in the U.S. session, we have CB Consumer Confidence coming out today in the New York session. So quite busy today, and that comes out a half hour after the markets open. Commentary today is that the markets are moving very nicely. I was able to make a trade yesterday, in fact, with the pound yen. Thank you, Mr. Pound Yen. Gave me some pips in profit. I was very happy with that. I usually don't take trades on a Monday, but believe it or not, it was all about patience. I started looking at the trade in the middle to end of Asia, and I actually didn't take the trade until the middle of London. So I waited quite several hours before I got into the trade. The markets are moving. The dollar is still very bullish. Traders, keep that in mind. We're going to go through some currency pairs. In fact, we're going to go through some Forex charts, the 60-minute charts, and you're going to see where a lot of these pairs had very little price action yesterday. So we want to keep an eye on that. And then some pairs are just like in a really squeeze play, and we need to find out and see what kind of direction they're going to give us. Possibly, with all this data coming out in the London session, we might be able to get some movement here. All right, let's take our first one, which of course is always the euro dollar. The euro dollar is currently at support. Remember, we are bearish in the euro, so we're looking for this to pull back to the 61.8 at 27.38 area. That would be fine. And we can take this to the downside. 27.72 looks great. And 27.35 is where we want to enter. 72, we want to put a stop. We're just going to put our stop below the 200 exponential moving average. And we're going to take this back down to 26.56. Now, if it breaks support currently and retests it, well, now you have a new trade entry. However, you need to redo a trade plan and an analysis and find out how you're going to work that, where you're going to put your stop, and what you're going to do. I'd rather see the pullback. I'd love to see, like, we've got like 4 hours till 4.5 hours till the London Open, so I'd like to see this give us a nice pullback. But with these hourly candles that we're looking at straight in our face right now, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's head over to the pound. The pound, as you can see, did very little movement in the last 24 hours. It's really kind of weak. It is below my trend line, and it's not pulling back to my 50% at that 62.65 area. Not quite sure what the pound's going to do. We might have to take that second entry at 62.02, which is 6,200, and then just take that down to 61.62, which is fine. Then, it's a 38 pip trade. So either one of them is fine. Looks like, though, this is going to head down and bust that support, and that's what we're going to end up taking our trade. I'd rather see the pullback myself, but it is the pound. And remember, traders, the pound very rarely gives you a second opportunity to get in the trade, which is unfortunate for us, because that means you have to sit in front of the charts and keep an eye on it. But as far as the trade setup goes, technically, it's really looking very well. The Aussie dollar has been working out pretty nice. It's very, 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 very bearish. So we're just waiting for this to pull back up to that 87.26 area, and we will take it short. We need a pop up there, though. We're at support. We really don't want to trade this. Again, it could break support, retest, and we could take it down. But I'll take profit area on both of these entries are 86.19. I'd much rather get a pullback and then zip this baby all the way back down. Even if it goes back up to the 50% at 87.47, that would be great. But yeah, I would like to see a pullback and then pop this. I'm not a breakout trader, and if it breaks through support, that means you have to wait for the retest. That could take hours. That could be 2 to 3 candles, and then get your entry to go short. The problem is, well, it's not a problem. The Aussie does give you a pullback, so you might be able to get in this trade. But it is bearish. It's been very bearish the last couple of days, and it's been trading very nicely. So, stay with it and keep an eye on the Aussie dollar. Euro Aussie is an absolute mess. It's been at this resistance level. It pulled down yesterday, and now it's pulled back up. I wish I could have shown you both charts from yesterday and then today's chart, but this is at resistance. This is at severe resistance. And we need this to pull back somewhere. Do something. Come back down to the 618. What is that? 45.38. Do something. Give us some kind of a pullback. Pull back to the trend line, or break resistance, retest, and then we'll take it long. But this is like the 4th time it's tried to break through this resistance area. It cannot get through it, and this is what are you going to do? You just have to hang on here and see if you can get that entry. And entry in this one is key. You can't buy it here, folks. You're at resistance. This is going to pull back. And, hopefully in the next 4 candles we get a nice pullback. At that 61.8, I will buy it there. And I'll take it back up. That's a pretty good trade there. I think that's like 40 pips. So I'd have no problem doing that. Just bring it back down to that 61.8 and let's take this to the upside. I think that's a good idea. And that's a trade plan on the Euro Aussie. The Euro Yen is in a mess. It's it's just the Euro Yen, and it's we're below the 200. We have a 4-touch trend line. It's in the middle there. You can see it's been in this range a long time for the last 2 days. So this thing really needs to make some sort of a decision of what it wants to do. If you look at this on a daily chart, it is bullish. And then you come down to a 60-minute chart, and it is bearish. So it's a very complicated situation to look at. So you want to be really careful on how you look at this trade and how you're going to trade it. I'm thinking I might just stay out of this for 24 hours and see what happens unless we get some direction. We do have a lot of data coming out today, so it's possible that we'll get some movement here in one way or another. But it either needs to break the 200 or break the trend line and give us some direction. And then we could take this trade. But right now there is no entry, and I don't see an entry coming for at least 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, probably 2 hours into the London market before we get some sort of an entry where we can take this. But this Euro Yen right at the moment is a mess. Traders, this pair has moved great over the last 3 or 4 trading days. Yesterday's trade plan worked out absolutely perfectly to the pip. The entry was a little sneaky. I mean, you had to look left of the chart to get that entry, but it did give us that pullback, and it did give us the entry almost to the pip, and it went all the way down to our take profit area to the pip and more. So the New Zealand dollar worked out great. Let's see if we can get a pullback. I'm not saying it's going to come all the way up to that 50%. I put that up there with wishful thinking. However, if it comes up to the 61.8 at 78.00, I'm all about taking it there. Psychological level, let's take that down to 75.933. That would be absolutely wonderful. So a lot of pips here, a lot of pips to be made, and we just keep an eye on it. And right now it's in the middle of a range, so you really can't do anything there. But I think we'll get a pullback up at least to the 61.8, and we'll be able to dump this as we go along. Like I said, we have a lot of data coming out in the London session and the New York session, so I think we're going to be just fine. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL, Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Coming to you live from reigning Pattaya in Thailand. Traders, have a great day. Trade smart and not hard. And traders, we'll talk to you tomorrow before the London Open.